Hey guys, in the last episode we learned about JavaScript data types. Today we're putting them to work with something fun, expressions. Basically how we make the code do something, like math, combining text, or checking if something is true. Let's jump into it. So what's an expression? In JavaScript, an expression is just a piece of code that produces a value. You've already seen some, like 3 plus 4. Or when we wrote hi and then name, or when we did is logged in equal true. These are all expressions that are made up of values plus operators. Let's try a few examples with arithmetic operators. So let's declare a variable called x, assign it the number 10, and another variable called y, assign it the number 3. So now we want to console log x plus y. X plus y. That will give us 13. Let's now console log x minus y. And that will give us 7. Let's console log x times y. And that will give us 30. Now let's console log x divided by y, which will give us 3.33. Now let's calculate the remainder when x is divided by y. We use the percentage symbol for this, which is called the modulus operator. So console log x, remainder y, and that gives us 1. Why is that? Well, that's because 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 left over. So you have the first 3, then the second 3, that gives you 6, then the third 3, that gives you 9. And then you can't add another 3 and stay within 10. So 10 minus 9 in this case is 1, and that's how you get 1. So as you can see, you can use JavaScript like a calculator. The modulus operator gives you the remainder, useful for checking if something is even or odd, for example. Now let's comment these out and move to section 3, which is string concatenation, or combining text. So let's declare a variable called firstName and assign it either with single or double quotes the value James. Then we want to declare a variable called lastName and assign it the value Dean. Now we want to declare a variable called full name and assign it the first name. Then we want to concatenate and leave some space, concatenate again, and then add the last name. We still don't see anything in the console because we haven't used the console method. So let's do that. Console log, and what we want to log is the full name. And this gives us James Dean as the outcome. So when you use plus with strings, it joins them together. You'll do this a lot when building websites or showing messages to users. So let's comment these out and then move to the comparison operators section. So we can also compare values to get true or false. Let's try that with console log 5 greater than 3. Is that true or false? It is true. Let's console log 10. And then here we want to use the equality and type operator, which is equals, equals, equals 10. And that will give us true. Now let's try that again, but this time around we want to check for equality but we want to ignore the type, and we do that with equal equal. 10, let's put 10 as a string here. Even though it says this is true, you actually have to be careful here, because the types are different. What is the type of 10? If we use type of 10, we're going to get a number here. And if we use type of 10 this way, with quotes, that's a string. So we are actually comparing a number with a string. Which is why if we do console log and check for equality and type, and the way we do that is with using equals 3 times, like so. And now, if we put the string 10, now we get false. Because obviously, 10, a number, does not equal 10, a string. So in the future, when you're writing code, always go for equal, 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 whenever possible, to avoid weird bugs in your code. Now let's console log 8 less than 5, and we get false. Now let's comment these out and move to section 5, which is mixing data types together. So let's have a look at that. We declare a variable called age and assign it the number 20. We then declare a variable called message and then assign it the following: UR space, concatenate age, the variable, concatenate again, then a bit of space here, then years old. Okay, so now when we console log the message, we get you are 20 years old. And if we console log, if age is greater than or equal to 18, and we get true because 20 is greater than or equal to 18. So you can mix data types together in an expression. This is where things start getting useful. Now let's comment these out and move to the practice exercise. So what I want you to do is to, I want you to create a variable called score and set it to 75. Then I want you to log the following. Your score is 75, using, of course, the variable. Then 3 log true if the score is greater than or equal to 60. And 4, as a bonus, I want you to log passed if the score is 60 or more, or failed if not. So pause the video now and have a go at it, then come back for the solution. Okay, so how do we solve this? So let's declare a variable called score and assign it 75, the number 75. Then we want to console log your score is, and then that's the space plus the score. So here we see your score is 75. Can make this capital. Oops. Okay, then console log the score if it's greater than or equal to 60, and that's gonna give us true. Then for the bonus, what we want to do is we want to declare a variable called result and assign it the following. And here we'll be using the ternary operator in JavaScript, which I'll teach you about in a second. So we want to say score and greater than or equals to 60, question mark, and then the passed string, otherwise the failed string. And we want to console log the result. And we get passed. So what are we saying here exactly? So we're looking at score if it's greater than or equals to 60. We know that it is true. And we're saying, is it greater than or equals to 60? This is where the question mark comes in. And if it is, then we want to return this value, which is passed. Otherwise, we want to return this value, which is the string failed. So since score is, in this case, greater than or equals to 60, we're getting passed when we console log result. Otherwise, we would have gotten failed. So if we change this to less than, we get failed. Now it's using this value and not that value. So the ternary operator in JavaScript is very handy and it's very easy to use. You look at a condition here and you check with the question mark if that condition is true or false. If it's true, you use the first value here. Otherwise, you use the second value here. And we are assigning the result to this variable result. And that's how we get it here in the end in the console. So nice work, guys. You just built expressions using numbers, strings, and logic, which is the foundation for how programs make decisions. In the next episode, we'll use this to build something interactive using JavaScript's if statements, where your code reacts to different situations. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're finding this helpful, and see you in the next one.